Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to learn two of the most important concepts in modern cybersecurity, MTTD and the MITER attack framework. How companies detect hackers, how quickly they identify cyber attacks, and how security terms knows what an attacker is trying to do. That is exactly what we will explore today. Let's imagine you arrive at your office on Monday morning, everything looks normal. Employees are working, emails are being sent, customers are using your company website, and business is running smoothly. But behind the scene, something dangerous has already happened. A hacker secretly entered the company network 3 days ago. They have been exploring the system, collecting confidential files, stealing password, and slowly moving from one computer to another. No one is noticed. There was no warning sign, no alarm, and no obvious problems. Now ask yourself this question. What is more dangerous? The hacker entering the network or the company taking 3 days to realize the hacker is already inside? The answer is the second one. In cybersecurity, stopping an attack is important, but detecting an attack quickly is even more important. The faster a security team detects suspicious activity, the less damage an attacker can cause. This is why cybersecurity professionals often talk about two important concepts. MTTD stands for Mean Time to Detect and MITER Attack Framework. If you are preparing for roles like SOC Analyst, System Administrator or Azure Administrator or Cybersecurity Engineer, these are the concepts you will hear again and again. In today's video, we will understand what cybersecurity detection really means, why detection is so important, and what MTTD is and why every company measure it, what is the MITER attack framework, how these concepts work together in the real world, what is cybersecurity detection. Before we learn about MTTD and MITER attack, we first need to understand about cybersecurity detection. Let's use a simple real-life example. Imagine your home, you lock the door before going to bed, you close the window, install security camera, maybe even have an alarm system. These are all preventive security measures. Their purpose is to stop someone from entering your house. Now imagine a thief somehow find an unlocked window and enter your home despite all those protections. What happened next? If your CCTV camera noticed the movement immediately and send an alert to your phone, you can call the police before the thief steals anything. But if you only discover the theft 2 days later, the thief has already escaped with your valuables. This is exactly how cybersecurity works. Every company tries to prevent attacks using tools like firewall, antivirus software, endpoint protection, email security, and multi-factor authentications. However, no security system is perfect. Sometimes attackers still manage to get inside. That is when detection becomes critical. Cybersecurity detection means identifying suspicious or malicious activity as quickly as possible so the security teams can investigate and stop the attack before it causes more damage. Detection is not just about finding viruses. Modern attackers use many techniques that don't look like traditional malware. They may use legitimate tools already present in the Windows, steal passwords, abuse remote access software, or move quietly through the network. That is why organizations invest heavily in the technology that continuously monitor their system and generate alerts when unusual activity occurs. Now that we understand detection, let's talk about one of the most important security metrics, MTTD. MTTD stands for Mean Time to Detect. In simple words, it means the average amount of time it takes for a company to detect a cyber attack after the attack has started. Here notice the word average. The company may detect one attack in 5 minutes, another in 2 hours, or another in 1 day. MTTD is the average detection time across all incidents. Let's understand this with an example. Suppose a ransomware attack began at 10 a.m. The attacker sent a malicious emails, an employee opened the attachment, and the ransomware started encrypting files. If the security team receives an alert at 10:05, the attack has been detected in just 5 minutes. That is an excellent MTTD. Now imagine a different situation. The ransomware started at 10 a.m. on Monday, but no one noticed until Wednesday afternoon. By then, hundreds of computers may already be infected. Important business files could be encrypted, backup may have been compromised, and the customers may not be able to use the company's services. This company has a poor MTTD. The longer it takes to detect an attack, the greater the potential damage. That is why reducing MTTD is a major goal for every security operations center, commonly called SOC. Why is a low MTTD important? A low MTTD provides several benefits. Attackers have less time to move through the network. Sensitive data is less likely to be stolen. Ransomware can often be stopped before it is spread. Business operations recover more quickly. Financial losses are reduced. The company can respond before customers are affected. And many organizations track MTTD every month as a key performance indicator for their security teams. How do companies reduce MTTD? Reducing detection time doesn't happen by chance. Organizations use several technologies and processes, including EDR, endpoint detection and response, security informations and event management, SIEM, security analyst monitoring alerts 24/7, threat intelligence, automated alerting, artificial intelligence and behavioral analytics. These tools constantly watch for suspicious behavior and notify analysts as soon as possible. Now let's move to one of the most famous cybersecurity framework in the world, MITER attack. First, it is very important to understand what it is not. MITER attack is not an antivirus software. It is not a firewall. It does not block hackers. Instead, it is a knowledge base that documents how real attackers behave during cyber attacks. Think of it as a giant encyclopedia of hackers' techniques. Imagine police officers investigating crimes over many years and they notice patterns. By studying these patterns, police became better at preventing and investigating crimes. MITER attack does the same thing for the cybersecurity. It studies real cyber attacks and documents the tactics and techniques attackers commonly use. This helps defender to understand what an attacker is likely to do next. What does ATT and CK stand for? ATT and CK stand for Advanced Tactics, Techniques and Common Knowledge. Let's simplify these words. An adversary is simply an attacker. A tactic is the attacker goals at a particular stage. A technique is a method used to achieve that goal. In real life analogy, imagine a thief wants to rob a bank. Their overall goal is to steal money. To achieve that goal, they may enter through the front door pretending to be a customer, disable security camera, open the vault, collect the cash, escape before police arrive. Each step has a specific purpose. Similarly, cyber criminals do not attack randomly. They usually follow a sequence of actions. MITER attack organizes these actions into categories called tactics. Some common MITER attack tactics. Let's look at a few important ones. Number 1. Initial access. This is how the attacker first enters the environment. For example, phishing email, exploiting software vulnerabilities, stolen password. Number 2. Execution. After entering the hacker run malicious code, they may use PowerShell, scripts or executable file. Number 3. Persistence. The attacker wants to stay inside the system even after a reboot. They create scheduled tasks, startup programs or malicious services. Number 4. Privilege escalation. The attacker tries to gain administrator privilege so they can access more resources. Number 5. Defense evasion. The attacker attempts to avoid being detected. They may disable antivirus software, delete logs, or hide malicious files. Number 6. Credential access. The attacker steals username and password. Number 7. Discovery. The attacker explores the network to identify computers, servers, and valuable information. Number 8. Lateral movement. The attacker moves from one compromised computer to another within the organization's network. Number 9. Collections. The attacker gathers documents, emails, database, or other sensitive information. Number 10. Exfiltration. The hacker transfers stolen data outside the company. Number 11. Impact. Finally, the attacker caused damage such as encrypted files with ransomware or deleting important data. That is the pattern attacker uses normally. Why is MITER attack so useful? Security teams use MITER attack to understand how attackers operate. For example, if Microsoft Defender or another security tools detect suspicious PowerShell activity, it can map that activity to a specific MITER attack technique. Instead of just saying PowerShell was executed, the alert provides additional context, helping analysts to understand where the activity files in the attack lifecycle. This makes investigation faster and more effective. Now let's talk how MTTD and MITER attack works together. Let's connect everything with a practical example. Imagine an employee receives a phishing email and accidentally clicks a malicious attachment. The attacker gains access to the computer. Next, they attempt to run PowerShell command, steal credentials, and try to move to another server. Security tools recognize this behavior because they match known MITER attack techniques. Alerts are immediately generated. The Security Operations Center investigated the alert and isolated the infected computers within a few minutes. Because the attack was detected quickly, the company MTTD is very low, and the attacker is stopped before causing any major damage. This example shows how MITER attacks help security tools to recognize attacker behavior, while MTTD measures how quickly the organization notices and responds to the behavior. Let's quickly recap the lesson. We learned that cybersecurity is not just about preventing attacks. It is also about detecting them quickly. We explored MTTD, which means how long it takes an organization to detect a cyber attack. We also learned about MITER attacks framework, which helps security professionals to understand the tactics and techniques used by real attackers. Together, these concepts help organizations to detect threats faster, investigate incidents more effectively, and reduce the overall impact of cyber attacks. In the next video, we will continue the cybersecurity series by exploring SIEM, Security Information and Event Management, how security logs are collected, why organizations use platforms like Microsoft Sentinels, and how SIEM helps security teams to detect and respond to threats in real time. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in next video. If you found the video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone beginning their cybersecurity journey. Thank you.